G'day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I just heard the right number of clicks in the background to say that everything's live and populated wherever it's supposed to be. So we're here for our general Lenormand card spread reading this morning, and it's keeping in mind, switch on your own intuition as I'm actually going through reading these cards with you. So I'll switch over to the cards. No need to waffle on unless you want a weather report, which it's lovely and sunny outside. Here are the cards. Oops, and I forgot to actually line up the camera with the cards. There you go. One thing I forgot to do. I took the photo and then didn't bring the camera itself back. The arm of the camera. Lenormand, the Gilded Reverie is the deck that we're using. I'm trying to get it to focus really nicely, because I forgot to put up the actual filter board that I've been using for the glary light, but we'll put up with the glary light now this time. It's still, you can see the colours quite well, so that's fine. Loving this set. And we'll go through the good morning to you, Kathy. And we have Karen here. Good morning. You have made it today, Karen, and hopefully you're enjoying using your healing now that that's arrived. And Tracy, good morning. We have Shristi. Hopefully that's how you pronounce your name. And we've got Carol. Can't hear me. I can't imagine why. I've got everything. There's not anything muted. Microphone's on. Maybe your volume's not up, Karen. Carol. Anyone else, please? We've got a Facebook user over on the group, I think. And Scott, what is this telling me? That's what I'm about to actually show you. Hi, Scott, you're on Periscope. I noticed that nice little teardrop. This is a general card spread reading that I give every morning at 8 o'clock at this time. You're on live, as I have the Lenormand card deck. I'll just show that once more, Scott, since you seem to have only just popped in. It's this deck of cards. It's a Lenormand, not tarot, that I actually use as the base for these readings. And it's just a general. So, and now we've got Carol saying, oh, I can hear you now. Great that you can. Thank you that you've checked too. So, and Karen just mentioning, yes, thank you. She's loving the healing. And I love using mine too. It's a daily thing now. So what we're doing with our cards, let's have a look. And Rina, oh gosh, I've just had a notification that there's an update on the eCam, which I'm not going to do that while I'm actually live with it. So yeah, the anchor again. It's good to see one familiar card, isn't it? Although we haven't had the anchor, it wasn't yesterday, was it? Or was it yesterday? It could have been. We have had it through this last week in the previous 7 days. So we'll start with the anchor. That's actually the card that's sitting in the workspace. So you feel the energy around that, and what its meaning is, put it relevant to being your workspace, whatever you do for work. We've got the birds in home space. This is the card for the home space. So we go 1, 2. The third card is up the top here, and it's labyrinth in the unexpected energies and spaces. Then we've got down here in the fourth position, we've got 8, the coffin, and that's in your role space, so the energy around what your role is. And in the center, we've actually got the compass. Yeah, Rena's just commenting that she missed yesterday. Yeah, I did miss you yesterday. Hadn't seen you then. So what we've got as the actual reading, let's hop into it that way. So anchor. The anchor is about stability and being able to place that. And remember too, an anchor, it can come in many different forms. It doesn't have to actually be in this particular specific actual physical form to hold a vessel in place, usually a boat. I mean, that's what they're used for. They're designed for seafaring boats. And you can actually throw the anchor up to the shore, or you can actually drop it into the ocean bed and hope that it grabs into the earth that is beneath you. in some form. Most times it works and holds really well. Sometimes it can actually drag. And that's purely because of the other forces that are around it that are pushing and pulling and shifting it, and a stronger force than what the anchor itself is able to hold. Now, this is where we actually, in the shift into putting into context of what our workspace is, you are able to hold your focus. You're able to get into what you're doing through your day to day with the anchor holding that stable space and place for you to do that. Even though there may be some of the other forces around you that are going to be an influence in your day, that those in themselves are not going to actually push you along to a huge degree, because you are holding steady with the anchor in place. So if that's what you're wanting to do and focus on something, you do need to actually intent and put that focus into your anchor being stable. You've spent that little bit of time to actually find that right place and space to anchor it into. So if you're working on an important project and you don't want to have interruptions or have those other influences pulling you, make sure that your environment around you is conducive to that. So close the door, get other things ready, like your coffee ready, or your paperwork, or the patterns in your fabric cut out and all that, ready to just get in and do the construction of your garment or project. It's that type of comparison that we're needing to actually have our space. This is what the anchor is doing. You're actually preparing your space. You've got the anchor grounded, and now you can do the work that you're wanting to do. So that's the meaning that I'm getting from this for our workspace today. So, and if it feels like it's dragging, pull it up and place it again for the next project, for the next focus that you're wanting. Because remember, anchors are portable. You can shift from one intention of holding something steady and working on it for a time to another, but just be wary that the tide's not just taking you to anywhere that it wants, because you haven't actually spent that time in anchoring in to have that focus, okay, and have that stability in what you're doing through that particular thing you're wanting to concentrate on or put your focus on, okay? So that's that with the workspace. Now we're in the home space, and it is the birds. Birds are communication. It really is the time where we're getting together with our family and friends so much more at this time of year, because it's Christmas coming up. For those who have Christmas as an important part of their year, our whole society is structured around the Christian-based festivals of the year calendar, Christmas being a major one, Christmas and Easter being the big two. So for the fact that even if you don't have those types of beliefs, it's still something that we do fall into as a matter of course, because of what is happening around us in our society, the Western society. So we are getting together more socially. We are connecting with family and friends. We do have those times where we're having a few drinks or a barbecue, or there's always so much indulgence in the extra food and everything at this time of year. Office parties or family parties to catch up. If we can't just make it on the Christmas day itself, we have pre-Christmas days and all sorts of things. It's a lot of getting together, chatter and communication, and all that is wonderful stuff at this time of year. I'm thinking that it's probably good morning, Marianne. Nice to see you here as well too. Thank you. As well as, being careful, it does still mean that we need to be a bit careful about how we're doing our chatty and getting together. Not all times do end up having the result of happiness. There are times when things are sad, argumentative, and all sorts of stuff like that. And we've got someone here who is doing some funny things I'm not going to show. So with that communication, just be mindful of what words you're using and how you're actually getting together and chatting with others. It can be words that are verbal. speaking to each other, and it can actually be some written stuff too as far as communication goes. We certainly do see a larger amount of, the postal system, Australia Post, struggling sometimes this time of year because of parcels and cards, letters. Although letters aren't the usual way these days of sending things to each other, it certainly is something that is still done though for Christmas. Good morning, Sharon. How are you? So keep that in mind. Now, up here in the top where we've got the labyrinth, that's the unexpected card. So there's going to be a few little puzzles and maneuverings around and stuff like that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the joyful gaming and, the games for that type of thing. And yeah, Rena, it does relate to so many people, isn't it? And especially our teens. It can be interfamily communications, can't it? So that we're having those instances where we need to it's a two-way street. It's listening as well as speaking. And there are times where I know myself as parents, look, I was just too busy and I didn't listen to my teens. And many times where they just would not listen to us as parents. It really is having that, find the right path that's going to connect with them so that communication does happen well. And look at the times where it's not just to understand that's part of what the path is, part of the journey in life, that even as far as teens sometimes do need to find their own way and make their own mistakes and all that is life and part of each and every one of our own journeys. I've been through this situation in life and still sometimes it feels like that's happening where it's a maze. But a labyrinth is actually more of a meditative, symbolic, going into self as well. If you look up the word labyrinth there, you'll see that more metaphysical, esoteric meanings behind that word, the labyrinth. In this one, you can certainly see each other and ask for help if you need it. So we're moving down now into our role, which is the coffin. It is about moving on some stuff. I'm just going to see if I can get that a bit better in the picture, because what I want to point out with this one is what you can't see all that clearly is down here are the treasures that are buried with the deceased in this instance, because, that's what this is. It's a coffin. It's a sarcophagus. It's very much an Egyptian-based symbolism in this one, so that the soul, the spirit, is moved on. This is what that wisp of what looks like smoke or spirit is moving on to the next life, the next world. So, but what they did is bury the treasures with the deceased, so that that there was preparation and it was there ready for their next existence. So, with this as part of your role, there's some things in your life today that you probably need to sort out that are needing to be just moved on to its next existence. Let that thing die its own natural death causes to move on to the next. And that can be, things that you feel that you actually want, but you can't have. That regardless of it being these treasures, it's stuff that you might feel or has been a treasure over your previous lifetime as far as this existence, things that you've accumulated and find being very sentimental about, that you can't move on, that you need to clear and let it move on. I know I've still got myself in that position of having to clear out lots of boxes still. The initial, yes, got some done, and now it's just there's none done. That's something for myself. The message for today is I know that in my heart space to move some of that stuff on. It could be for you as well. So as we're moving into our outcome, that central card, it's just being able to realign ourselves. This is the compass. It finds its north-south. It has that automatic alignment, attunement to what is our direction. Place that as being our own soul center, that compass, and what we know as our own intuitive knowing of what direction we're needing to be moving into. So I'm feeling that Give yourself some time today to just sit and go into that little inner space that is your Zen space, your meditation, your just close your eyes and think. Allow that thinking. Just soften it off so that instead of the monkey brain, the bit that's going chatter, chatter, chatter all the time, just soften it off. Yeah, let the thoughts go. Keep moving, but don't think of them, if you get what I mean. So that all you're doing is just allowing yourself to sit in that space. Close your eyes if you need to and just have that flow. Place the direction as if it is moving past. And there is your compass, and let that realign. Allow it. Then when you feel ready, you're just opening your eyes and you're getting back into your day. You might need to do that several times in your day. Who knows? So there we have our spread for the day today. Okay, so we've got anchoring in and being able to actually concentrate and focus on what we're doing, have those little processes done and ready to be able to get that focus happening. It's going to be so productive. And then as we're moving into our communication with our family, close friends, anyone, in fact, really, but it's going to be where we're finding our direction. It's a lot about direction in some respects, because we are holding while we're doing our work and then moving things through in a structured way. Even though a labyrinth might seem like it can be chaos and chaotic, there is a pathway that is through to the prize, so to speak. So just concentrate on that and have, the goal at whatever it is that is your goal, your prize. And you will find your direction in that. So, and whatever you need to actually clear out of the way in that process, moving on as part of that journey today, allow that to happen too. You will have that clarity and you will have that process complete. Okay. So thank you for joining me again for another wonderful card spread. I so enjoy doing these. Keep in mind which card of those 5 did come to your eye first, what you noticed first, and that would be the main emphasis in that area and that energy around that card that might be your important part of your day, and have that awareness. Just, you don't have to live for the cards, just have an absolutely wonderful day. Anchoring in whatever you need to be anchored with, holding to you what's important. Okay. Now, thank you, Marianne, for that. Thank you. So I'll wish you the best. Be the best that you can be. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Namaste. Oh, just one thing. We're Friday today, aren't we? It's highly likely there'll be a Friday's Intuitive Chat with Leanne and Roz tonight at 8:30 as well. So keep your eye out for that. Thank you, Verena. And we'll see you then, tomorrow or tonight. Bye for now. Oh. Which one's that? My time. Okay. What?